We are live on YouTube.
You ready?
Ready?
All right, let's go. We are here for the Adams County Board of Zoning Appeals meeting, and I'll have the board introduce themselves and their positions.
Joe Rubel, board member.
Doug Hartman, board member, liaison to the Plan Commission.
Phil Iker, board member.
Aaron Salking, vice chairman.
Pat Laux, chairman.
Mark Wynn, plan director.
Megan Fallbush, assistant plan director.
Pat Hess, legal counsel.
The first item on the agenda tonight, the people requesting it actually are not here, but sounds like we are allowed to hear the application.
So I'll just go through the rules real quick. Failure of the applicant to appear will result in the application being tabled and rescheduled for the next meeting unless the board on its own motion or those remonstrating against it object to the tabling of it, in which case the board may vote to dismiss the application for lack of prosecution. That's not the same thing as a denial. So he would not be held to the 1 year.
You would have to refile
He'd have to refile.
and pay another. I would make a motion that we go ahead and hear the,
I second that if that's an option.
All in favor?
Opposed?
So we're at liberty to carry on.
The board can decide on its own motion to not table it, in which case the board may vote to dismiss the application for lack of prosecution. It doesn't say you can approve it or deny it. It's just you can have it dismissed or you can continue it to the next meeting.
So technically, we cannot, since he is not here, we cannot vote for it.
Yep, the rules say that the board may vote to dismiss the application for lack of prosecution. It doesn't say the board may approve it or deny it.
Sounds like we can dismiss it, or we can
Table.
table.
Well, I guess if that's the option, I make a motion to table it.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
And we have to announce the hearing that it'll be tabled to. If we do that, we don't have to send notice again.
At the next available meeting.
I think that'll be February.
February 19th.
We have nobody signed up for a hearing for January for either.
Well done, Mark.
First time in a while.
So February.
Yep. And listen, if you dismissed it, he could have flown in and driven to Mark's office tomorrow and refiled it. So,
For the February 19th meeting.
yeah, for the February hearing, because he would have missed his filing deadline anyway, so.
The difference is paying another $200 or not.
That's a fair enough way to do it, I think. I do believe, and I have to dig into this, so just for your own knowledge, that if somebody misses 2 of them, then I think you have to dismiss them.
So it'd be tabled for the February 19th meeting.
Correct.
I will be absent.
Okay, we're free to go to the next one. The next application for development standards variance DSV 2025 41 filed by Joshua and Ariel Custer at 215 East Andrews Street, Monroe. They are wanting to install a 6-foot fence 8 foot further than the ordinance requires. 7 feet of the proposed fence would encroach into the right of way. Per Monroe ordinance 2025-1, section 1.1.3.2, a fence shall be set back a minimum of 1 foot from any known right of way, and section 1.1.3.3 No fence or wall may be placed in any right of way. The land is located in section 3 of Monroe Township. Parties representing Joshua and area. Come up here. Yeah. Live mic. Have at it.
Yeah,
Name and address.
good evening. My name is Joshua Custer, address 215 East Andrews Street, Monroe, Indiana, 46772. Basically, we're asking for a variance to allow us to put the fence in the right of way. As you can see, I believe I provided some pictures just for visual reference. We have a sidewalk that connects to our driveway, and we would just like to encompass that sidewalk in the fence and allow us direct access from the fence to the driveway.
How tall the fence would you?
6-foot privacy fence. Be wood privacy fence. Obviously, everything will be built to the other ordinance standards, just this one specifically.
What would your spacing be if you went to the edge of the sidewalk?
From the roadway or?
Yes,
From the center of the road, I believe we would need, if we go directly on the edge of the sidewalk, I believe it'll be 26 feet from center of road. So it'd be 3 feet less than what we would be asking for. Kind of the reasoning for the 7 feet per se is there's a tree that runs right in line with the sidewalk edge right there. So just trying to stay a little bit away from that to allow, not a tree expert, don't know what the tree is gonna do. But if it, grows into a nice big tree, I don't want it to start growing into the fence.
Have you talked to, I'm not sure who it would be, with people from Monroe,
The town of Monroe.
the town of Monroe?
So I spoke with Rachel before we purchased the property, kind of asking what to do, because I knew the ordinance was into place this past March or February, whatever it was. And I spoke with her. She had no idea really what to do. She got me in contact, I believe, with the superintendent or something. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. And he is the one that directed me to you guys to come, submit for the variance here. She asked me, I guess, when we bought the house, she was like, I think I've talked to you before. And I explained the situation. And she was like, well, let me know how that goes. We've never had anybody do that yet. So they were just curious to see how the process went. So, but outside of that, I have not talked to anybody else from the city. I've talked to the 2 neighboring properties on the east and west side, the east side being the one that is on the other side of Studebaker. The only comment that was made by him is that he can't see what we're doing anymore. If we put a fence up, he can't get direct access to be able to see 000 back there. And then the other side, on the west side, they called me yesterday. They're only concerned that they're the only ones that their neighboring property touches our property, that the fence would be along. He was expressing concerns that his dad is elderly. And if I put the fence, really close to the property line, if he ends up hitting the fence with the mower, because he likes to mow still. He was just concerned about that. And I told him, I'm willing to mow 2 or 3 passes along that side. That way he can stay plenty far away. But that was all the conversations I've had with neighbors. Anybody else didn't really say anything.
Mark, is the city of Monroe aware of this hearing this evening?
I sent them a letter, but not like I called them.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I mean, it's the usual,
Right. Send a letter like I do the surrounding
Right.
landowners.
Well, was there a previous ordinance or is this an amendment to an ordinance?
They, town of Monroe came up with a sign ordinance just a few months back. I'm not even sure exactly the date because we started getting calls about it. They didn't tell me they had an ordinance.
March 12th.
I was supposed to enforce something that nobody asked me about prior to them passing anything. So we did a little catching up. But anyway, now that it exists. Now, quite honestly, even if they didn't have an ordinance, what he's actually asking for would have still happened. Because that setback from the roads and from that sort of thing did exist. We didn't have a permit process for it. Like we do now, a location permit, but that still encroached even the old rules. If
that makes sense.
Gotcha. So is the big concern then there is the right of way to the street, not necessarily the neighboring fence? Is that correct?
Correct.
Or the neighboring property, I should say.
That's my understanding, yeah. So I think when I pulled the string, from where MLS put the stakes in, I pulled a string from the center of the roadway over, and I believe it was 30 feet. Is that existing, we call it right of way? So I would be, with what we're asking for, with fence would be at 23 feet off the center of roadway, which I then pulled string from, or tape measure from the backside of the neighbor's sidewalk on the other side, and that's where that 20-foot measurement comes from. So from the backside of the side, or the house on the east side of Studebaker from us, from the center of roadway to the backside of their sidewalk is 20 feet.
What's right of way dictate? What's it,
It. Well,
is that for city
I mean, there's-
equipment to get
it's
down?
it's for utilities, which may or may not be in that right of way. It's usually they're in the front of the house, back of the house, not the side. I know that says Studebaker Street, but it's almost like an alley.
I called locates in, just to get to see. Nothing was marked down that edge. The gas line runs down the alley and comes up the west side of our property into the back side of the house. And then on the front side, on that side, the water line was marked. But we've got a basement, so it comes in prior to where the fence would even start.
And I guess one more thing just to say, the oddest part is that he's putting a fence on not his property. So,
Whose property is it?
city.
The town of Monroe.
And that would be the next point too, is, if anything happens and they need to tear the fence down, I know I'm responsible for it.
And then it's blue there.
I'm
The
not,
screen is the
I
town
can't,
road.
I know if they've got a utility or something that needs to run down that right away and they need to go through the fence, that's my responsibility.
Can you zoom in just a little bit there?
Get rid of that.
Thank you.
I don't know what Monroe does, but I know that when I've had situations like this for other clients, that the town council or the town board of works gets involved and they require what we refer to as an encroachment agreement. And it says, you recognize this is town right of way, we can build a road, we can put utilities in there, and you will indemnify us if somebody goes off the road and hits the fence and hurts themselves. That's what other communities do. I can't tell you what Monroe does. So if you're inclined to approve it, there might be a good idea to do a condition of approval subject to town of Monroe review and approval.
Well, that's your garage. Looks like part of the garage is
Yeah, it does.
in there.
Right.
So based on where I pulled the string, from the property stakes, that line is shifted a little more west than what is actual visual. Where the string came through is basically right in the center of that sidewalk.
The actual real survey, because the yellow lines are
Okay.
gold. It does miss the ground.
Okay.
But even then, I'm sure there's some screwed up things and.
Yeah.
We also find that in small towns, whether it's like Graybull in Allen County or Monroeville or whatever, that they have really wide street right of ways. I don't know
But,
why, from the original plat of Monroe, probably.
You've got parking in front of your garage there that would be technically
Yeah.
the right of way.
I mean, if they decided to build a road blow the road out, put sidewalks and everything, I'd have no driveway into I'd open my garage door and go straight to the road.
But just to make clear though, that's normal. So like my house where I live, the first 10 feet of my concrete driveway
Yeah.
is not on my property. I got a 40-foot driveway, 30-foot belongs to me. I mean, I paid for it all, but in the outside 10 feet, my property line.
So you don't have to mow that then.
Yeah, I could stop 10 feet from the curb, but I don't think my neighbors would be happy about it. So that is normal.
Okay, so sounds like that's what towns do
That's normal,
and structures and
But when
parking lots.
when it's a structure that you could hit, that's when this comes into play.
So how far will you be, what you're proposed, would you be off of the road?
13 feet from the edge of the road.
And if you went back to the sidewalk, it'd be another 3 feet.
Yeah, about 16 feet.
The tree would have to go.
And that's the other thing is for that plot, the tree's not on my property. So I don't know that I can even cut the tree down.
My only concern would be visibility for the intersection. And I don't know how much you'd actually gain by moving it, if you would move it back to his sidewalk. But my only concern would be the intersection with the visibility.
That's an alley behind him, Mark.
Behind.
So that's Studebaker's and Alley.
And Studebaker that's a road to the side.
Is Andrews Street, is that 000?
It is not. 000 is 1 block to the west.
Oh,
Right here.
Van Buren Street.
I drove past it and I looked and I thought, I saw that tree and I
Yeah.
thought that tree is right where the fence would be.
Correct, yeah.
And I looked also coming up from the other way as far as visual and that. I really didn't see an issue with it. My biggest concern would be that the town of Monroe is okay with it.
And I'm more than willing to
Uh,
await their approval as well, whatever.
Oh.
Is needed.
But that's just my
So
personal.
you felt like looking in the intersection that it would have been,
I
you
felt it,
wouldn't be blocking any view?
and I think that's pretty slow traffic through there.
So I know, and this is probably maybe not even my spot to speak. I know that we're gonna vote on that. Which is that. Just out of curiosity, Josh, did it cross your mind perhaps to come here
So I just added that, right?
and then what's that?
I just added that red line.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and your entrance in here. I think you guys are right. You think it's all right. You let up to the town of Monroe. The town of Monroe may say, well, hey, we don't really want you out here.
Mhm.
Then perhaps come back and redo the thing.
Yeah,
Put
so
it there.
I thought about that. The only, I can't sit here and tell you I need it to go to my driveway. It is purely, to be able to have access directly to the driveway, and not have to, not that it's a huge deal, like I said, but that is the reason for the variance, is just to be able to have direct access to the driveway along that sidewalk and then encompass that whole sidewalk in the fence,
That's why I drew it, because you're gonna have a gate either way.
Correct, yeah.
You're gonna,
Gates
you're gonna have,
either
you're gonna have
gonna,
a gate at the driveway, or you could have a gate at the red line.
yeah, either the gate's gonna open to the driveway or it's gonna open to the rest of the sidewalk and then we gotta walk out and around,
Right.
Really, the other reason the fence is going up with us living on the corner, I've got a young daughter, I got a dog. That was just kind of to contain everybody and then to have, not that it's a much of a safety difference to have direct access to the driveway or not, but.
That I don't have anything else.
my guess is that the town of Monroe would have drawn that up, thinking that, hey, we don't know what the future holds, and if we need to do something with sewer systems or whatever, we want to set it all up with right of ways, and we may never need it, but we have it. But to your point, you said if they need it, I can take the fence down.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, if they want to blow the road out, I'm gonna lose all my driveway as well. But if they want to do that, then I understand that's my responsibility. I got to take the fence down and move it, at that point. The only thing Rachel did make a comment about is along Andrews Street, I believe from Studebaker to the east to the Ball Diamonds, they are replacing the sidewalks in the future, I believe is what she said. But did not mention anything about sidewalks going down Studebaker.
Looks like they have sidewalk on the other side of Studebaker.
Yeah, and if they would keep the same design as what that side is, I would still then be 3 feet off the back side of that sidewalk. If, like I said, if they mirror it like it is on the
I
east
see.
side, I would still then be 3 feet off of the edge of the sidewalk there.
Thought I was done, but I guess I'm not, only because of reading through the ordinance, it says, well, hey, the town says yeah, we want you to remove it, this, that, and otherwise. That's why I think what Phil had suggested, if we say, yeah, go for it, you probably do want them, because how does that work if they don't? You know, if we approve it here, but yet they don't like it, and they come in and say, well, hey, we're enforcing our ordinance, or how does that work?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you guys are talking about distance. But because it's going on Monroe's property, you can go to them and say, I got a distance variance, but I still need your approval to put it on your ground.
That's right.
short
And
version?
if you approve it, you're approving it to the farthest extent that he's asked for. So if the town says, yeah, we need 2 more feet, he does not need to come back to us, even though that still would have required a
Move it
variance.
further away.
Yeah.
I think that answers my question then on that.
Any other questions or concerns from the board? Any calls or letters? Anyone from the audience? We don't have an audience. All right, we'll go through finding of facts.
I'd like to abstain from the vote if possible. Mr. Buster has been a long time family friend. And I don't feel that I want to influence the decision in any way.
He's going to recuse himself. Very good. Question number 1, approval will or will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community because?
Will not. There's a stop sign at that intersection, will slow down traffic.
All agree?
Agreed.
Question number 2, the use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the development standards variance will or will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner because?
I'll say will not. The fence, will be put up in according to code. Everything will be done right. It'll add to the property. And it won't, if there are no neighbors here that have, against it, so I'd say it's fine.
All agree?
Agreed.
Question number 3, the strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance will or will not result in practical difficulties in the use of the property.
I'll say it will result in, it'll limit, it'll make access to his driveway more difficult.
All agree?
Agreed.
Question number 4, if granted, the board prescribes the following conditions.
That's fine.
Would this be the recommendation to work with the
Town of
town of
Monroe.
Monroe to make sure that they're okay? We're okay, as Mark had said, with the distance, as long as they're okay with fence being on their property.
Would we need a written statement from Monroe, like in our file, or?
Yeah, I think it could be an email or something, but
Okay.
just,
That's Clayton.
okay, review and approval subject to the review and approval of the town of Monroe.
I agree with that.
I think so too, and that's probably the best protection for you as well,
Yeah,
you know, not to
absolutely.
put it in and then have a problem with them, so.
Right. And nothing needs to be said. I mean, it's in a right of way. I mean, he's aware, or they're aware because of that if something needed to happen as far as, okay, he'd be responsible.
I would make a motion to accept.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Perfect. Thank you, guys.
Good luck.
Appreciate it.
Just because I think this is all a little bit confusing, I want to clarify something, just because we've had this before, in Monroe. If we had something happen a month or 2 ago where people put up a fence and it was in an easement. So their property went, back to a point, and then there was a 8-foot easement in their property. They own to here, but you gotta stay out of the easement. So if somebody ever came in and wanted to be a foot or two in an easement, but still miss the utilities, that wouldn't be the same discussion because that is his property.
Yeah.
This is different, so easement versus right of way belongs to the town, does not belong to him at all. His deed does not show that as his property in any way, shape, or form. Or if somebody ever came in for an easement issue, that is his property, but you're supposed to stay out of it because of whatever utility might be in there.
Access.
So there's two different things, and I just want to get that clarified in case that ever comes around.
Minutes,
Make a motion to accept.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any new or old business?
Just that, we haven't gotten an appeal on the, cell tower. A different lawyer called me and indicated they were not going to appeal, so I presume they're not, but they were gonna look for other sites. And since you're also the unsafe building board, since the last time we met, Connie Teeple's house has been demolished and the site was cleared. And, the next step is the county incurred some fees to do that, so we're trying to collect. And we'll probably have other unsafe building things before you in 26.
I have one already that's gonna happen. Yeah, got one in Lynn Grove that's gonna happen.
Most of these demos, there's nobody involved. It's an absentee owner. I don't know if this one in Lynn Grove will be that way or not, but for the first one that the board dealt with, this one was, there was a little bit of everything involved there, so.
Will any of these in the future involve the same owners?
The one I'm talking about? No. But there is other ones that might happen in the distant future.
And keep in mind, it's not always just demolition. Sometimes the order is you have to put on a new roof or whatever, and those could still get in front of you that you'd have to deal with, so.
Is there anything else?
I actually, only because I know I talked after the long meeting. And I have not driven by recently. Had you checked on the trailer on 800?
Oh, the lady
what
that
I
has
said.
it for storage.
Yeah.
We did talk to her, right? I forget what we said. It's been a minute.
I did drive past it.
And I
Looks
know
like
that was
somebody's
a
living
long
in it.
night when I brought that
Living.
up. I just didn't know if.
Lamps on.
Give me 1 sec, cause I documented it.
Yeah, I think she asked for like a little bit more time.
I went past there this summer. That's what he said.
That was the one they were just gonna use it for storage.
Didn't it start out as a
She
business?
asked for a little more time. and-
I'm
and-
okay with
Yeah,
that.
and I told her, yes, but I mean, this has to happen. So that's shocking if that's actually true.
I drove past it. It was
Lights on and curtains in the
lights
window.
on.
He said summertime, so I don't know when you talked to her last, but.
August 22nd.
So I'll make another trip out past. because-
Maybe
No
she-
rush,
maybe
Mark.
she
I
was
just-
cleaning.
I did talk to her.
We had a short meeting.
She asked, she said, can I get a little more time? And I said, yes, but it has to happen. So I will take a spin past and see what's going on.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep. Sorry, there's so much going on. I had to take what you know.
No, I know.
I
You're a
caught
busy
on.
man and it's, yes, I got it. You need help. I definitely know that.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.